Mike's E-Keys for cars. GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyo Kid and the Amanas. Streets Maintenance, Jimmy Street, excellent plumber. Good guy, too. Dr. Lance Forbes, another good guy. Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are here.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Well, I shouldn't be here because Hunter is complaining about me. Mace is complaining I'm so hard to work with and everything. And maybe I am. Am I hard to work with?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what should I do about it?
I don't know. Really don't know.
I'm trying.
Some people are hard to work with.
Well,
my phone updated last night, and it's
all effed up.
I can't find my camera.
Too.
I can't find my camera icon anywhere. It's just disappeared. Everything is annoying now.
Well, Facebook, they've changed all of Facebook.
And I'm trying to find the email to see if we're calling her or if she's calling us. Just talk to Karn.
Yeah. Hi, Karn.
Hi. Hey, was Rutgers better than we thought they were?
No.
Or did Iowa just not play well?
I don't think Iowa played well. I thought Rutgers guards were pretty good.
They'll be lucky to win 6 or 7 conference games this year.
Yeah, but they're not a great team. No, we didn't play very well.
We couldn't hit anything, but they kept saying, well, Rutgers had good defense.
I don't know. That was not a good game for Iowa, except that we won. Tate Sage was great, and Sturts made some plays down the stretch to make sure that we were able to win the game. But no, it was not a good game for Iowa.
And all three refs were men.
Yeah, I rewatched the women's game, and it was not easy to tell. I'm being honest.
No, well, the guy next to me kept asking me, but what are they, women or men? I said, well, they're either 3 small men or 3 flat-chested women.
Yeah, no, I think the latter is what it was. So, but I can see why I was confused.
Yeah. Well, I must run to my Bible study, so I'll pray for you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
We appreciate it.
Please do.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we are actually calling Holly at 9:30. Here, I'll get
Holly Duax?
Holly Duax. The Larry Wazorek
Yeah.
meet is this weekend, so they're promoting that, and you couldn't promote a meet named after a nicer
Why
guy.
did you just text me the number?
Because I'll just walk this, because that's a pain. I can,
this
it's
is
right here.
Big meet coming up Friday and Saturday.
And Larry is one of the nicest guys
He is.
you're ever going to meet. I haven't talked to him in ages. We've tried to get him on the show a couple times, and he just politely declined, saying it's not about me. I don't want to talk about me.
It's not his thing.
I still would like to have him on at some point. He'd be a fun interview.
Yes, he would.
But yeah, he helped he brought the track program back, and then Joey Woody
took it up
higher even. But Larry's the one. What was it? 2011 they won that outdoor title. I never thought I was going to see that in my time at Iowa.
Yeah.
Because man, when I got up here in the 90s, they were really struggling. So, but yeah, we'll have Holly. She's a sprinter, and have you done any research on her yet?
No,
I will. But yeah, we'll have her on to promote the track meet, and then as far as last night, it was lifeless in there in that first half.
Boy, wasn't
it? 3/4 of that game, it was lifeless, and I think Bennett's realizing now the hard way. He must have gotten more fouls in the Valley than he's getting now because. And but it looked like every time he drove to the basket, he was looking for a foul after he got knocked down, and they just weren't calling it.
No.
And I will say, they let him play on both ways. They let him play both ways. But to me, Iowa's a better team than Rutgers. They beat them. I think if they played 10 times, Iowa would win 7 or 8. and they were able to beat them on a night when they didn't play very well, and maybe Rutgers would say, hey, we played pretty well on the road. That was a decent effort by us. How about that big number 21 for Rutgers?
He was a space eater.
Man, his shoulders were he was huge.
He wasn't great, but
no,
he was big.
That's why he's at Rutgers and not Kentucky or somewhere else, but big kid, man. He is huge. He walked by me in the tunnel, and I'm like, good Lord, the size of that. I couldn't believe how broad his shoulders were, and yet how skinny his waist was. He was in great shape. And like Ben said, Rutgers is a tough assignment because they just play different. They're not real complicated, but their guards are real physical. They drive in to penetrate.
And they're quick.
They're always athletic and what have you. But I just kept thinking the whole way Iowa's going to figure out a way to win this, and they did. Bennett was good down the stretch. Was not good the first half. He almost looked tired. And I think
he might be.
And he might be. And like Ben said, they need Ben was asked last night, what are you going to do? They got a full week off. They got nothing for 7 days now, and he said he's going to go. He said today, and it looks like it's going to be okay today. He said he was going to go for a walk, hang out with his dogs, all just no practice and what have you. It sounds like they're taking a full day off, and they need it. I think these guys right now are mentally and physically and emotionally drained right now. They need a little time to refurbish.
Well, and 8 days in the middle of the year will do that.
And you saw UCLA beat Purdue, and in Los Angeles, of course, and Mick Cronin. He's a surly.
Oh, I thought it was at Mackey.
Oh, I thought it was in Los Angeles.
No, I don't have.
But Mick Cronin was bitching about the schedule, about how they played 5 out of 7 games on the road. Big Ten, their first 5 out of 7 on the road, and then they finally get to come home, but only with 2 days rest and have to play the preseason favorite. And he basically, at the end, he finally just said, he goes, hey, guys, this is what life's like when you're in a Midwestern conference. He goes, we're in a Midwestern conference, and, they're out in L.A. It's tough.
It is.
And I think he's making obvious he does not like it.
No.
And if I was the UCLA coach, wouldn't you have much rather had it the old way, Pac-12, than this?
Of course.
Oh, God. I don't know, other than just the television revenue and exposure, how they benefit from this on just a daily basis. I mean, it's just so... Money, that's it. Money, and I know it trumps everything, but it's just you could just tell he was frustrated. But it just shows you got to be ready. Even the bad teams in the Big Ten on a given night can come up and give you...
Well, we saw that last night.
Yeah, because I do think when it's all said and done, Rutgers is going to be near the bottom there with Penn State and Maryland. Because Rutgers, they're athletic. They just didn't have a lot of skill.
No.
There was not a lot of skilled players out there. That Francis, he had a really good, the guard was really good in the first half, but they just didn't have whereas Iowa had way more skill level. And I'll tell you, Tate Sage is going to be, before he's done.
He was good, wasn't he?
He was really good. And what you got to remember, too, he's 6'7", playing guard. And there was a while where he was bringing the ball up the court, and Bennett was playing off the ball, which I found interesting. But, man, he is I'm not saying he was a diamond in the rough, because there he was right there in Weatherford, Oklahoma, winning state titles and what have you. But he only averaged like 12, 13 points a game. But, man, you could make a case that he may have the most upside of anybody on that team.
He might. He's
really good.
He's good
shooter. If he's going to start consistently making threes, and Ben even said they were more worried about his defense coming in, but he said his defense has gotten better. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he's got a chance to be. I mean, you don't see too many 6'7" combo guards at Iowa.
No, you don't. And no, he's very good. And boy, last night we sure needed him too.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I need to reach out to Adam, try to get him. I don't know why. Well, I couldn't do it today. Maybe I'll see if he's available Friday. Because again, and then Don. After we have Holly on, I told Don we'll call him around 10:45, 10:50, and he was fine with that. And so yeah, we got a busy show, Captain.
You mean 9:50?
Well, we have Holly's from 9:30 to 9:45, so figure we'll need a couple minutes. Yeah,
take a little break.
Take a little break, and we'll call.
You said 10:50. So.
No, 9:50. 9:50.
Okay.
9:45, 9:50. And I gave him a heads up on that, and he's fine with that. And so busy show. Has it been a good show so far?
Oh, yeah.
Was Hunter good?
Bitching about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he?
Hard to work with.
Gee, there's a mystery.
Son of a...
There's news.
I think I'm pretty...
Oh, you are.
Easy to work with.
Is he easy to work with, Suter? Well, you've been with him for 35 years. You guys are like the Stones.
Sometimes.
You guys are sort of like the Stones.
Yeah.
Are you who's Keith and who's Mick?
Except our spouses are age appropriate.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's
that
true.
is true. I hadn't thought about that.
Very true. I'm a guitar player, so I would think I have to be Keith.
Keith?
Yeah, but I'm also a singer.
So you're saying I can't sing?
No, you're Brian Jones.
I'm in the pool.
You're dead for. Yeah, he died. He drowned, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
But isn't that a big scandal? Isn't there controversy? And
He drowned. He got drunk and high and drowned.
but wasn't there rumors that somebody may have?
Yeah, nobody. Yeah. I mean,
You got it all
There's
figured.
always conspiracy theories.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, he got drunk. He had drugs in him, and he drowned.
Okay, now all right, we got that one taken care of. Morrison, was there any foul play there? Is he really dead? Just
pissed
bloated,
himself.
drunk,
Just pissed. Yeah, loaded,
died in a
drunk.
bathtub.
Yeah, pissing
No
himself.
conspiracy theories are true.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
But
Discuss.
wasn't the thing with Morrison? No, nobody saw his body, and he's not really dead.
Well, he's in a ground. They buried him.
Yeah, but nobody saw it. Nobody officially supposedly saw it. You know, they didn't do the official documentation. And he was only 27. How does a guy die of a heart attack at 27?
A lot of drugs.
He didn't do a lot of drugs, Captain. That's where you're wrong. He did a lot of alcohol and LSD. Now, but he didn't do tons of coke and heroin.
No,
he didn't.
but LSD.
He drank a ton. But
and
he,
if it's
his biggest thing was alcohol. He drank way too much hardcore alcohol.
He's dead.
I've never doubted it, but that was another one.
Dead.
There's a lot of interesting rock and roll myths, aren't there? What's your favorite one, sir?
I don't have any.
You don't have any favorite one?
No.
You hate them all.
There are no conspiracy theories are never correct.
Mr. Reality over here. He only wants reality. He only wants what's real.
I'm a reality guy.
You know, I've gotten over this Morrison thing. It's been 60 years.
I never was really. I
50
never
or
really
whatever.
believed the conspiracy.
Yeah.
No. Do we have a call?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we do. Hey, caller, do you think I'm difficult to work with?
No, not at all. I think you'd be great, though, as the Mick Jagger frontman dancing around.
Ooh, hey, imagine that.
I could do it.
Wearing those tight sequins and all.
I could wear tights.
Like those leather stretch pants that Suter loves Mick Jagger wearing.
It looked like a tube of...
What do you got, caller?
I'm calling with your daily Stone Ground trivia, okay?
Okay.
I have, count them, 5 Stone Ground albums.
Wow.
The obvious question is why.
I did like 2 different bands. Early band had Sal Valentino with the Bo Brummels, kind of. And the latter band had Joe Baker and Annie Sampson singing with them. And Joe Baker...
That was the
sing with
name
Eddie
on...
Money.
Okay.
Yeah. Baby Hold On.
Sure.
And then the final trivia is Stone Ground played in Cedar Rapids at what is now Otis Tailgaters or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be the Bank or something like that back in the day. So they've been around. Not that I play those albums much anymore.
Uh-huh. Well, I would imagine not, but what was the club in Cedar Rapids that they played?
It was called the Bank at the time, and is now Tailgaters out there on Center Point Road. It's still open.
Was it maybe MFO Tools also at one time, or no?
Yes.
It was.
Same
Okay.
place.
My band played
Lots
there
of
too. It was a neat place.
Yeah. I saw, who's the guy from Chicago? The blues singer, blues player. Man, totally blowing my mind. Anyway,
Well,
great place.
Lots of them.
Talk
All
to
right,
you
man.
later.
Thanks
for the call.
update.
A little Stone Ground narrative building here. I like it. I'm guessing by May you'll be playing. Molly will be playing Stone Ground in their
never
dancing.
play
Stone Ground lives.
I never have played it, and I never will play
You hadn't
it.
heard of it.
No.
You hadn't heard of Stone Ground or Gigi Allen, and you claim, and you're in the Hall of Fame in Iowa. Explain that to me.
I
think the Hall of Fame has some explaining.
nominated me.
He hadn't heard of either one of them either, and you're both in the Hall of Fame.
Nick Steicher nominated me. You guys nominated me.
Yeah.
I was freaked out when I looked at Facebook this morning because coming up on my 2 days after my birthday, I agreed to buy this place 32 years ago.
Yeah. 32 years ago.
32 freaking years ago.
You're surprised. I mean,
here for 32 years.
I know. I mean, but you're acting like we never talk about that. That's all we ever talk about is how long you guys have been here.
I've been here 34 years.
It's the never-ending conversation.
Well, isn't it ridiculous?
Well, no, because it's just common knowledge and it's always discussed.
No, 60 years I've been doing this, but 32
That's always,
of them.
you realize,
32 of them.
No, I get it. No,
here.
what I'm saying though is, do you realize how often you bring that up to where it's not a surprise?
Because it's a feat.
Yeah, but you bring it up nonstop, so it's not a surprise.
So if I'm that hard to work with,
Hunter said that. Maybe that's part of what makes you hard to work with is that you bring that up all the time. Is that it, Hunter? Part of it, Hunter said.
I lauded over you, Hunter.
Yes. I'm fully aware.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the line? The students were enjoying the pretzel beer.
They were. I thought it was a good idea.
And I thought I'm guessing there was probably 7,000 there, maybe 7. But there was a decent amount of students there. There just weren't a lot of fans there. But, I mean, it's 7:30 on a Tuesday, not the most convenient time. But I thought the fans really made impact at the end there. I think when Iowa finally gave them something to cheer about, and that's what Ben said. He goes, we didn't give them much to cheer about. And he did say, he goes, we didn't take these guys lightly. We played hard. He goes, our concentration just wasn't there. We just didn't play well. But he did have no problem with the effort. They always play hard.
No, they did.
This team always plays hard, especially on defense.
They played hard, but they didn't play well.
They just didn't play well. But they still won. Now they're 4-4.
Yeah.
And USC's better than Rutgers. Not a ton better, but better. I think USC's one of these teams that, before it's all said and done, will probably avoid being in that bottom 3 or 4 teams because, Penn State, Maryland, they're destined for the bottom. Northwestern, those teams are all destined to just be really bad.
Oregon's pretty bad.
Oregon's bad. I didn't realize how hurt Oregon is. Their 2 best players are out. The big guy in the middle.
Are they out for the season?
I don't know how long they're out, and then Shielstead. Mm-hmm. And then one other guy. I think they were talking last night. They're missing 3 starters, so they're a shell of themselves. That big, is his name Biddle? They got a big guy. He's good. And but yeah, Shielstead, he's out, and so yeah, I watched a little bit of that game last night, and they just don't have any firepower. They're 1-6.
Yeah, the good news is Iowa, winning the last 2 games, have moved up from right towards the bottom of the league to right dead.
That's all it takes.
Right dead in the middle.
Now you lose these next 2, you'll be right back.
Yeah,
so no, you just gotta. This break's coming good. This is a good time. They need this break right now, and to be 4-4 and what are they, 14-5? I mean, they're on course right now. They are on course to make the tournament, and that's what everybody seems to. That seems to be the only thing people care about.
Hello.
I know, guys, it's putting it out there a little bit, but we're knocking on the door of the double bye. And the teams in front of us are beatable.
Yeah, but there's 12 games left. It's a
little early.
No, I get that, Pat, but I mean, at least we're there now, and we've got this stretch where we're playing teams we can beat. There's a chance to move up into that number 6 spot, which would be amazing for the Hawks.
Yeah, it's conceivable.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's...
the top 5 teams in the Big Ten right now are all rated. So, for us to move up into the number 6 spot would say a lot about the program and where it's headed.
Well, we got 3 teams ahead of us, just ahead of us, that we have to pass to get to number 6. So,
yeah, well, it's doable. These guys have shown signs where they can play good basketball. I know last night wasn't one of them, but it was still fun to watch them, like you said, play a bad game and yet overcome it and win the game. I don't care how we win as long as we're putting W's up on the board because that's all that matters when it comes to the end of the season, getting into the tournament and everything. So that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's sure nice to win a couple, get back into, tournament discussion instead of, oh, my God, if they don't start winning some games, they're not going to make the tournament. So, yeah, it's those are 2 pretty big games to add to our list here this year.
And I think, too, this is, once again, my opinion, but I think when we get to the Big Ten tournament, being on a neutral court, I think we're going to do well once that happens. But I'll let you guys go. I know you're up against the interview here at the bottom of the hour. I don't want to run into that for you. But as always, it's good to be a Hawkeye, so go Hawks. Let's hope we can finish the season and make that top 6.
But where are you?
Rochester, Minnesota, up by not too far away from Mayo Clinic. I'm delivering to a place that makes ice cream.
All right.
Shrimps up here. So
we'll have some fun.
They make ice cream and chip dip. I don't know how those two things each have corn sweetener in them, but they both do. So there you go.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
Got Holly on the line.
All right. Joining us now, Holly Duex, sprinter for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Very accomplished sprinter.
Very accomplished.
And it is Duex. Is that how you pronounce your last name, Holly?
Yes, it is Duex.
Okay.
A lot of people say Doe, but the X is not silent.
Okay.
Well, we were talking about that the other day, and we thought Duex, but it is nice to know for sure.
Okay, I want to ask you right out of the gate. So were you always fast as a little kid? Were you, like, faster than everybody? And how did you evolve into a sprinter?
I knew I was fast when we did these little, like, 5th grade relay run back and forth on the grass just to see. They would split us up, and my PE teacher came up to me and she said that she wanted to put me with the boys because she wanted to see if it would work. And I ran fast again, and she was like, "You're really fast. You should keep running." And then I got caught up in the whirlwind of doing 10 other sports, not 10, but I was doing basketball and volleyball and softball. So I wasn't really thinking about doing any type of club track, and also my hometown didn't really have any, like, younger kid club meets or anything like that. So I was playing a bunch of different sports, but then I came back to track in the end of my middle school time and ran at the Sioux City Relays in the middle school section and did decently there. So that's when I kind of started to pick up track again.
So your speed, how much did that help you playing all those other sports you mentioned? Because, I mean, coaches always say there is no substitute for speed.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I would say, especially in softball and basketball, technically my hand-eye coordination was not the best. You know, I wasn't the best ball handler. I wasn't the best at bat or anything like that, but they would throw me in center field, and I could just go run and catch anything. Or with basketball, I could get up and down the court pretty well. So that was a strength of mine. And also with sprinting, you most likely are pretty good at. You have a pretty decent vertical as well. So that also helped in basketball, just with the power side of it all.
Did you have any mentors or sprinters, track stars that really influenced you?
I would say when I was younger, I wasn't really looking at professional track sprinters, but my older sister ran track in high school. She's 4 years older than me, and she had a teammate, Kennedy, who was at my high school, Kennedy Jones, and she was, always placing at the state high school track meets and setting school records for my old high school, and I would say I was always looking up to that because I thought that she just ran so effortlessly, and I wanted to get to that point. So I would say professional track runners I wasn't really looking at just because I hadn't really dove deep into the world of track and field yet, but I was definitely looking up to my older sister and her teammates at the time.
Very cool.
I'm looking at all your accomplishments, and, man, there's a ton of them. What is your favorite race, also your best race? I mean, the 100, 200. What's your favorite, and what do you think you're best at?
I would say my favorite is the outdoor 200.
Okay.
Indoor, the bank, it gets a little iffy, but I like the outdoor 2. I really enjoy. But one I'm the best at. I think I'm a really good relay runner. So the 4x1 at Drake, we got to run a sprint med, so I got to run a 200 meter in the first leg of a relay, and the 4x4 when I put on it. But I do think I'm a very good relay runner. I don't know. There's a different gear that my brain goes into when there's a baton that needs to get around the track.
And I'm looking right now at your profile. Ran lead leg on team-leading 4x100 meter relay that clocked a 43.86 at NCAA West first round. That time ranked second all-time at Iowa.
Wow. So is it so the relay thing, do you think it's because you get a running start?
I normally, yes, but this year I was surprised I was put on first leg this year.
Okay.
I didn't have a running start, but with the relays, there's such a big stagger because you're going all the way around the track, but no one's cutting in any lanes. So I have a ton of, especially if we're in lanes 1 through 4. I have a ton of people ahead of me that I'm just in my head. I'm thinking, you need to catch them. You need to get the baton to your person before they do. So I think that definitely gives an extra edge.
You also get something out of it just from being part of a group of, there's 4 of you. I know you love the individual stuff, but you're also part of a group, and you know that those baton exchanges have to be perfect.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely helps when we just have that chemistry as a team. I mean, I've been running with most of these girls for my entire college career, if not 3 years, so we've built these relationships. We practice it day in and day out. I don't know how many baton exchanges I've done in practice. I couldn't even begin to try to count how many there's been, but it definitely does make me want to run faster and be perfect for my team and not just myself.
I'm curious, how often do you reach full speed running, like during practice? Are there days where you don't hit your full speed and you just work on other stuff? How often does that happen, like when you're in season?
In season, we typically try to move our weeks where Monday we'll sprint, we'll do full max speed stuff. Tuesday would be like a tempo day, so we're not doing any type of max speed. We're not putting spikes on, but we're running a lot longer to keep our endurance up. Wednesdays are usually some type of speed again, but we might be doing what Coach Woody likes to call speed endurance. So you're still sprinting, but you're sprinting a lot longer. And then Thursdays are usually our recovery days, getting in the pool, doing some type of cross training. And then Fridays we would sprint again, and Saturdays would be another tempo day.
Wow, there's so much involved to this.
It's a lot of sprinting.
I got to ask you, what's it mean to be a 2-time Drake Relays champion, winning the 100 meters? I mean, not many people get to say something
incredible,
like that.
Really.
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of my year last year, just especially because the last time I had ran at Drake was my senior year of high school, so it had been 3 years. And just being from Iowa, running at Drake every year in high school, it was really nice to step on that track again and have just sort of a different sense of confidence going into it, and then knowing that there was a lot of good competition at Drake this year, so to just have that little confidence boost going into the end of the year with Big Tens a few weeks after Drake, and then regionals and nationals a few weeks after that, it was definitely a really big highlight of my season last year.
Now, you grew up in Sioux City. What led you to Iowa? What led you to become a Hawkeye?
Oh, that's a great question. Growing up, I was convinced I wanted to go anywhere but Iowa, the state of Iowa in general. I didn't want to stay in the Midwest, really. I wanted to go somewhere warm, especially for track. I wanted to be training outside all the time, and I don't like the winter, so I was just looking anywhere but the Midwest. And my guidance counselor's son was an 800-meter runner on Iowa's team, and she was telling me, she's like, you have to just take a visit there. You can look at all the warm schools, but at least just take a visit, go meet the coaching staff. I promise you'll love it. And I was like, it's not that far away. I'll just take a visit. Because at the time, we didn't have high school athletes didn't have unlimited official visits like they do now. We only had 4. So I was like, I don't know if I want to use one of my official visits on a school that I don't even plan on going to, but I'll do it anyways. So I took a visit on a Friday night, and I got here Friday morning. Saw the campus, met the coaching staff, met the team on Saturday, and then Sunday when I got home, I called Coach Woody and verbally committed.
Wow!
Because I loved it so much. It just felt I knew as soon as I met the team that this is definitely where I wanted to go. It just felt like a family, and it just felt like the right place for me to be for the next 4 years. And I must have made the right decision because I'm still here 4 years later.
Yeah, no, that's a great promotion for Iowa track. And it just shows it's more than just, when you're making a decision like this, it's more than just what you envisioned yourself accomplishing on the track. Of course, that's a priority, but you just, it was just the people, the culture. You're like, man, this is what I want. This is what I need. Is that just, what was it about the people? Is there a way you can kind of describe how they made you feel so welcomed?
Yeah, the entire team and the coaching staff, the way they communicated with each other and with me just made me feel like they already had respect for me, even though most of them didn't even know me longer than a few hours. And then they talked with each other. I could just see that they were teammates, but they were also friends, and they treated each other like family, and that's the kind of relationships I wanted to build in college. I know a lot of times people can see college athletes and think they're probably just teammates, like they have to be professional, and I wanted to go beyond just like the teammate aspect of a relationship and be able to make friends and have these people feel like family, because I'm obviously going to be away from my own family for the next few years. And with track, it's a long season. We start competing in December, and we don't stop competing until June.
Wow.
So for most of the year, I'm not seeing my family. So I was like, the people were a huge factor in why I wanted to come here.
Oh, that is a long 6 months. That's a long season.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So, Holly, how important is nutrition in what you do? I mean, do you have a lot of kale shakes and stuff like that? Or do you get to sit down and eat pepperoni pizzas and stuff with your friends sometimes? Or both?
Yeah, it's a good balance of both. I would say, obviously, when we're in season, we're taking care of our nutrition a little bit more than we would in the summer or the fall. But when you get to this level, the coaches have a certain expectation that you already know how to take care of your own nutrition, and it's self-consequent. So if you're eating fast food every night, you're not going to perform at the level that you need to be performing at. So they never are like, here's a meal plan, here's what you have to eat, here's everything you need you cannot have this type of food, you can't have this type of food, but they just kind of have expectations that we're monitoring at ourselves. And we also have access to a dietitian, which is nice, that she can help us if people maybe are struggling with having to cook something. She can come up with recipes and meal plans, which is nice.
As for the weather that you were mentioning earlier, I mean, we're all from Iowa. We've lived here most of our lives. This weekend, I mean, so how much, like when you're doing track now this time of year, when the weather is just miserable, how much is that? I don't know what the word is. It an obstacle? Is it annoying? I mean, like this weekend, it sounds like it's going to be miserable. Isn't it?
I think you got to be thankful you're indoors.
Well, and just how much does that make you appreciate your indoor facilities you guys have now too?
It makes me our indoor facilities really, really nice.
It is.
I mean, it's one of the nicest indoor facilities in the Big Ten and one of the nicest indoor facilities in the country. It's definitely a blessing to have that. I think that even though it's cold for however many months out of the year, the fact that we have that indoor facility is really nice. The only time it gets a little iffy is when it's still cold here, but we're in outdoor season. So we're trying to, practice baton exchanges and stuff like that, but it's still a little cold outside. But these past few years, it's actually gotten warmer a lot earlier, so we've been able to go outside and not really have any issues with it, which has been nice. But I definitely appreciate our quality of our indoor facility. Okay,
part of the reason we wanted to promote, just talk about what you guys have coming up. What's the official? Is it the Larry Wazorek Invitation? We'll talk a little bit about that, what you guys hope to accomplish. And I mean, obviously Larry Wazorek has meant a lot to Iowa track and field over the years.
Yes. This meet is one of my favorite, if not my favorite meets in the whole year, indoor and outdoor. There's always great competition. It's a 2-day meet. It's our only home meet that's a 2-day meet, but it's just a time for everybody to kind of specialize in their own specific events, and we have a bunch of schools coming from all over, which is nice. It's just different. We're able to see different competition, but it starts to get really fun when they pull out the spotlight and the fire machines and they turn the lights off and they do the introductions for the 4x4 relay, the last event of the day on Sunday. And the crowd is super into it. Everyone's cheering. There's when they bring out the teams, they have the intro songs and the spotlight, and it's a really, really fun meet. So it'll be really cool to see all the incoming freshmen and transfers that are here this year on the team, to see them run well. Some people haven't opened up yet, so it'll be cool to see them open up. But I'm really excited for that meet.
Well, good luck this weekend, and we look forward to covering you for the rest of your career. And thanks for coming on, Holly. We know you're busy. We do have one last question we ask all of our first-time guests, Hawkeye athletes and coaches, and I'll let Tom take it away. Thanks again.
All right, so, Holly, you look down at your cell phone, and it's ringing, and you see the name pop up, Beth Getz, okay? Which, of course, I was athletics director. So she says, Holly, I really need your help. We have got to get some money in here in a hurry. And I need you, Holly Duax, to hire a band, an act, or a singer to fill up Kinnick Stadium. Who is Holly Duax going to hire?
That is a great question. I definitely probably lean more on the singer route because I do love going to concerts, and I probably would say this is going to be a really interesting name, so I'll be interested to know if you already know about them, but the band Tame Impala.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
I think I would hire them to perform at Kinnick. I've seen videos of people at their concerts, and they look like a fun time, and I also love their music. So. Okay,
well then, there you go. Don't know if they'd fill up Kinnick or not, but they'd sure put on a good show.
Well, Hunter sure likes him. He was very impressed with that answer.
They're excellent. They are excellent.
All right, well, Holly, thank you so much, and good luck in the Larry Bazorek Invitational this weekend. I know you'll do great.
Yeah, this was fun. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. That was an easy interview.
Oh, yeah.
Really easy. John Leo, who set it up, said, he goes, she's really fun to talk to. That was easy.
She's good, and that band is...
Well, yeah, when she said it, Hunter kind of cheered, and I heard you say, who is it again? What's the name of the band? Okay, I've never heard of it, but that's obviously doesn't mean anything.
I saw them, a YouTube video, and I said to Hunter, we play, and he said, yeah, we've been playing that.
Do they sound like anybody?
99 plus KFMH forever.
Do they sound like anybody?
No, they're kind of unique. They really are unique.
Well, let's take a break before we get Don on. And
all right.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember...
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what Here For You means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good. Makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement Here For You, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want three things. One, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Two, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And three, you want to be treated like family. You get all three at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top-level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. And it works. Deer divots and dings do damage, but Premier Auto will do right by you. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Do yourself a favor. When your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier. The deer don't like Premier, but you will. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Hit a deer? Call Premier.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know, if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember, we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483. 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance. Honest plumbing at a fair price.
So the holiday season is winding down, and you know what that means. The dreaded chore of taking down the outdoor Christmas lights. The cold, the wind, the tangled cords, the burned out light strands. You can't wait to just shove them into a box and worry about them next year. Wouldn't you rather leave those lights up and customize them for different holidays all year long? Well, now you can with Illumilight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illumilight's provides illumination for every occasion, holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illumilight's app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illumilight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Our Oxyoke family is ready to serve you with the same quality of food and service you've come to trust since 1940. Serving lunch, dinner, banquets with 4 portion sizes, Sundays featuring our famous brunch buffet. Visit OxyokeInn.com for serving hours, menus, reservations, carry-out orders, and gift cards. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Rodney Price will see more clouds into the afternoon as a few snow showers make their way through the area. High temperatures in the mid-30s. Blustery west winds getting up over 40 miles per hour, and a wind advisory will go into effect. Those winds will eventually back down after midnight. We'll see a few snow showers ending tonight, lows around 10 above. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. It's 21 at our studios.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We're back with Coach Don Patterson.
All right, Coach. Well, 2 years ago, Michigan Wolverines win the national championship. Last year, the Ohio State Buckeyes win the national championships. And this year, the incredibly improbable rise of the Indiana Hoosiers winning the national championship. 3 years in a row for the Big Ten. Who's next year?
Well, I'll eliminate Maryland to begin with. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be them.
All right.
And a few others. But who's to say it might not be Iowa? That'd be a lot to ask for. But I do think Indiana has proven it can be done.
Exactly.
Oh, without question. Yeah, I mean, the obviously it's a matter of doing it. What's amazing about Indiana is it just seems like every decision this guy makes personnel-wise, they all seem to be working.
They seem to work.
He doesn't seem to make many mistakes, Don, as far as evaluations and what have you. It's just incredible what he's been able to do. Think about where we were 2 years ago. He had just been hired. I didn't give it any thought. I remember when Indiana had James Mann, whatever. And, Don, I can't explain. I mean, how do you explain just all of his decisions seem to be working, the right decision?
Well, he has a very, very informed information. The reason I say it that way, I believe 9 of those guys came from JMU. Is that right?
Yes. A lot of continuity. Yep.
Yeah, now they're not all great players. In some cases, they're role players, but some of them are the best-known Indiana players.
Yeah.
And I don't even know their roster well enough to know who falls in which category. But it all started with a really high batting average on those guys that came from JMU.
Yeah.
And the reason he's able to do that, of course, he knew so much about them. And then also of great importance, those guys were already well indoctrinated in both their offensive and defensive schemes.
Good point, yeah. Okay, here, Don, I'll put you on the spot. Is Indiana better on defense or offense?
That's a tough call because they're way above average on both.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, that's what makes them. And for that matter, they don't have a punt returner like we do. On the other hand, they had a very, very reliable place kicker. And I think their punter was more than serviceable, too.
Mm-hmm.
So is Indiana, are they the poster boys for complimentary football, Don?
I would say so, absolutely. It's amazing how consistently they were over the season. Here's an amazing stat. As I was looking, I ended up going with 13 of their 15 games in preparation for the championship game, simply because a couple of them were blowout games that didn't really deserve to be evaluated anyway. And I did the same for Miami, of course, 13 on both sides. The amazing thing, if you look at the top 10 parameters in those 13 games, that's 130 opportunities to win, right?
Yes.
10 times 13 games.
Yes.
Of those 130 parameters, Indiana won 100 of them. And you might say, well, at least 30 for the other team. No, there were a lot of ties in there, too. The other teams actually won 16 of those 130 parameters, and that left 14 ties. So if you want to use round numbers, the typical game they played, whether it be against a Big Ten opponent or a playoff opponent from some other conference, typically they won 8 of those top 10 parameters.
Wow.
The other team won 1, and the other one was a tie. That's how typically it spelled out. And that was more dominant than what Miami had been in their 13 games, that's safe to say.
So, Don, moving forward now, is there going to be maybe, I don't know if concerns the ref, but now that Indiana has done this, there's going to be more pressure on others to try to do this. But how do you balance the, pressure, we got to try to do this, with also being realistic, too? I mean, just because somebody does it doesn't mean everybody can do it. So is this going to change the way athletic directors and schools treat their coaches, being like, hey, look what Indiana did in 2 years? Do you worry about that, or how do you think that's going to play out?
And is the bar higher suddenly?
Yeah, all of a sudden now, since Indiana's done this, anyone should be able to do this.
Well, it's, the bottom line, of course, when you hire a coach, you invest a lot of money up front, the way the contracts read. You're going to pay dearly if you get rid of them anytime soon. So for that reason, they're still going to be hesitant to can a coach after 1 year or 2. They'll still get canned in year 3. I know even back when we went to UConn, we thoroughly understood we have to win in year 3. And we had that same mindset at Buffalo also. We won in year 3 at Buffalo. I'm talking about went to a bowl game, a decent bowl game in year 3. And at UConn, we did one better. We went in year 2 at UConn.
So at Iowa in year 3, were you guys going into year 3 thinking we got to win this year? What was the pulse back then?
No, back then, obviously, the bar was much lower. We simply we didn't really set a timetable. We just knew we got to get this thing turned as quickly as we can, because the longer you struggle, the more difficult it is to recruit. A simple example, when we first got here, we brought up some of the best players from the state of Texas in year 1. The bad news, we didn't sign a single one. And Hayden, after that season, he said, we're not going back to Texas because even though we can get a lot of the great players to visit, it's too much of a leap of faith on their part. Because we haven't won yet. We're not going to recruit Texas until we win. And in year 3, as we were getting ready to go to Pasadena, I said, Coach, let me go back to Texas because now we can recruit. And he said, yes, we can. And as you know, the very first guy to Texas was one of the fastest players in the entire state of Texas. His name was Robert Smith.
Robert Smith, 1983.
He lives in Waterloo, Iowa now.
Yep.
And he was a very valuable player for us, not because of all the balls he caught or all the punts he returned, but because he was always such a threat down the field. And he forced teams to think long and hard about playing single coverage against him because he was that good of a threat over the top of any defense.
And then a couple of years later, you signed Melvin Foster out of Texas, who was probably the maybe number 1 recruit in the state, one of the top linebacker recruits. And I remember you guys almost got Harvey Williams to come up here. He ended up going to LSU. But it's amazing, though, what winning can do, right, Don? It changes everything when you're trying to convince a kid to believe in you.
It really does. I think of a guy like Merton Hanks.
Yeah.
Merton Hanks was a great football player. And it was easier for Merton to come to to come to Iowa, simply because Robert was already up here.
Yeah.
And of course, there's so many that you mentioned. You mentioned our great linebacker from Houston. We also had a great fullback from Waxahachie by the name of David Hudson.
Yeah.
Just a lot of great players. And none of that would have mattered except we also had great recruiting effort back east because of Bernie.
Yeah, no.
So those two areas work for us, and I've always told coaches when they ask for advice, I said, you better have a big recruiting footprint. Obviously, you got to try to own your own state and surrounding states, do the best you can there. But beyond that, you better have a place like Texas or the East Coast as a distant area, because we simply don't have that much population in the state of Iowa. You know, it's a function of numbers.
Yeah.
If you want a big recruiting base, you got to recruit in areas that have a lot of population.
I want to go back to Indiana for a second. Don, do you just assume they're going to be right in the playoff hunt again?
Just going to ask that.
Do you think this is just life under Signetti? It's going to be this way, just moving forward.
You know, I do wonder. I know they had a very, very old football team by college standards.
Yes. 20 average age of, yeah.
Yeah, obviously a lot of those guys are done. I don't know the roster well enough to know who's got another year. I don't have any doubt that they still have some really good players coming back. But they lose a lot of good players, the most obvious being the Heisman winner.
Mm-hmm.
But then beyond that, they are going to be able to recruit well. And of course they already have. I don't know how many.
Oh, their portal haul was impressive. Yeah.
How many portal guys they have, but obviously they're able to be a little more choosy when they bring in. And I do give them credit for understanding that it's not just about potential; it's all about performance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've heard Signetti say that before, and it's true. That's why I've been told any number of people, don't spend a bunch of money on a high school guy because he hadn't proven enough yet. You're better spending your money on guys that are already proven. Probably in 1A football and FBS football. And a prime example would be Mendoza again. I went back and looked at some of those games that he played for Cal. He was playing really well for Cal. He just didn't have a very good supporting cast.
Yeah.
You know, and he was such a great story, you know, come in and then wins the Heisman Trophy. There's tons of quarterbacks that have stronger arms than he does, that run better than he does.
But, man, is he accurate.
But, boy, what a perfect fit for Indiana's offense.
And his looks are deceiving. You know, he doesn't look like the toughest guy in the world, but he plays like it.
He does. That touchdown run was impressive.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And, Don, he's 6'5", 220 pounds, too. I mean, he's a big dude. Obviously, that helps
him. He's kind of sneaky athletic. He's a little more athletic than what you realize.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And the prime example is the QU. It was a perfect call for that situation. Had a light box, had two ice safeties. And it still wouldn't have been a touchdown, except for a monumental effort on his part.
It sure was. No, he really put the effort in there. Well, talking about quarterback, let's shift to Iowa now. Iowa loses Gronowski. They just signed 13 from the portal. No mention of any quarterbacks. It seems like they are perfectly content with Jeremy Hecklinski and Hank Brown and the others behind them, which, I mean, that's the coaches, you know, they're the ones every day in practice. My only concern, and I think it's a fair concern, is we haven't seen enough of either one to say, yep, we're set at quarterback. They obviously believe they're set, but we haven't seen it.
No.
And so I'm just curious, Don, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've coached quarterbacks. You've been around quarterbacks all your life. How do you feel about the quarterback position? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It makes me nervous.
Okay.
For the reason I just mentioned, the beauty of the transfer portal, now you don't spend a lot of money on high school players. Go get a guy that's already proven he can play on the FBS level. Because they're out there and they're available. You know, they'll leave for more money. So if you want to invest your money, invest it in a proven player, not on some guy that might or might not come through. So it makes me nervous. I'll give you an example. We had a guy years ago that we had a lot of faith in when we recruited him. His name was Matt Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the reality of Matt Rogers' career. You might recall he did start as a sophomore for us.
1989.
And he was not that good in 1989. And thankfully, 1 year later, he was first-team All-Big Ten.
Yes, he was.
And 2 years later, he was a repeat first-team All-Big Ten quarterback. But he didn't do it as a sophomore, did he? Had to take some lumps, had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He learned quickly, but not quickly enough to be a proven winner as a sophomore. He wasn't, frankly, he was good enough to sometimes win, sometimes, lose as a sophomore. But he got a lot better, of course, and that's why he was all-conference the last 2 years.
So, Don, are you kind of saying your concern is that whoever plays quarterback, if it's Heglinski or Hank, that their next season could be like their version of Rodgers' 1989 season? Is that because I'm wondering, and I get that, and I kind of share that concern, but the only other answer is every year going out and getting a proven quarterback. So then how do you ever develop a multi-year starting quarterback? And you see what I mean? It just seems like it's a tough position for coaches now. You know, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, it is. But nothing says that a transfer portal guy has to be a one-year hit. And this is a prime example this year. How many guys did we sign that have 2 or 3 years left?
Exactly.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, most of them.
You're right.
Yeah, the best. I mean, all of them, I think. None of them are one for one, I don't believe, as I recall. So, obviously, there are a lot of guys. And the prime example would be, remember a guy named Pribula a couple of years ago?
Yeah, he's the guy who went from Penn State to Missouri, and now where is he?
Yeah, but he was the backup at Penn State. That's my point. Aller was coming back. Pribula knew he needed to leave. So, and I'm sure Mizzou spent a fair amount of money on him because I'm sure there were a lot of Penn State fans that wondered if we even picked the right guy. Because it was a close call, I think, as to who was the better quarterback.
He's at Virginia now.
Yeah, Pribula's a better runner. Reminded me more of the guy that Penn State had years ago.
I know, McSorley. Trace McSorley.
Yeah, exactly, McSorley. Because he was an athlete, and he's been playing in the NFL ever since. I said playing, he's drawing a big check. He's not playing, but that's okay. He's still getting paid a lot of money to watch the other guy play.
Okay, no, it's
a pretty good gig.
I mean, Tim Lester obviously must believe that between those two guys, they've got what they need, and the fact that Heglinski's name was listed above Brown's as the season ended would suggest that maybe it's his to lose, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, my concern with Heglinski is he's about 5'11", 185 pounds, and he's not really known as being a great runner either, so it'll be interesting. But, Don, you've said it before, if you're accurate and have great timing and anticipation, that makes up for a lot of other physical flaws you may have. Accuracy, you can never replace accuracy.
Yeah, one guy that comes to mind, of course, is the guy that played well for Purdue.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was an exception. He's undersized, and yet he played very well in the NFL. You think back to guys like Kurt Warner. Mm-hmm. Now, Kurt Warner was tall, of course, but nobody would say he had great talent. I mean, Northern Iowa wasn't sure he had great talent either. 100 years ago when he was playing at Northern Iowa.
Yeah.
But obviously, the coach for the Rams was a great football coach, and he had a vision for him.
Yeah.
And he was well coached, and he had great supporting talent, and that's how you win. So hopefully our supporting talent will be what our QBs need it to be. But until those guys prove much, I'm nervous, and I'm nervous for obvious reasons. They haven't played in front of 100,000 people yet.
Yeah.
Haven't played in front of 70,000 either. So that's a concern.
So, Donnie, how important is it, though, to the Iowa team that for the first time in 3 years we have the quarterbacks here that are going to be in spring practice, whereas the last few years they've been hurt? How big is that going to be for their development?
Well, I think it's critical. I know that Tim certainly feels that way about all 15 spring practices. They all have to count, not just at the quarterback position, but at all kinds of other positions too, because we do have significant losses. We have a lot of young guys we feel really good about. They simply haven't played that much yet. And you have your own favorites within the team that you're familiar with that are unproven, but I say unproven as starters, but they've proven a lot as backups. They've proven a lot as specialty team performers, and there's no doubt about it. A lot of those guys are going to come through and play great football for us. But the position of quarterback is a little bigger concern, simply because you can't afford to be mediocre at quarterback. Because let's face it, he has a lot to do with the effectiveness of the entire offense.
Well, that is true, and we've seen mediocre at
Boy,
quarterback.
have we.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, how surprised were you to see Cohen Intringer transfer to Louisville? I'm perplexed by it. I don't get it, but again, he's got to do what's in his best interest. Did that one surprise you?
That would shock me. Because let's not forget, he not only played well, he was one of our captains.
Yeah.
Yep.
He represented him in...
I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it. I've heard all kinds of wild theories. Don't know what to believe. You've heard the theory that he was in trouble with the university.
No, I've not heard that.
Kind of misconduct.
No, I had not heard that.
But I don't, in his defense, I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true at all.
No, I had not heard that.
From what I know about Cohen, he was a first-class
sure seemed to be
citizen and obviously a great leader for us. And of course, he played well every minute of every game, too.
Yeah, I had not heard that. And I also was told by somebody who would know that money was not a major discussion. It just doesn't make any sense.
And I tailgate with his parents.
Yeah.
And, boy, every time I talked to them about him, he was happy as a clam. He was very excited.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
And what makes it a head-scratcher, one other reason that comes to mind for me, another reason it's a head-scratcher, if he was going to transfer, there's a really logical option for transfer, and that would be Michigan State.
Yeah.
Or Michigan. Or Michigan.
He knows.
Yeah.
Or Michigan, either one, right. Back in his home state.
Well, his dad grew up a Michigan fan.
He just traveled from mom and dad.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Michigan State didn't even have any interest in him, but that's kind of hard to believe for how good a player he was. And, of course, LeVar knew very well how valuable he was to our team this year.
And I'm not knocking Louisville, Jeff Brown. It's a good program, good school, but I just don't think Louisville's a step up from Iowa, especially for a defensive back playing under Phil Parker. But he's got to do what's best for him. And again, I had not heard anything about him having any issues or anything off the field. And I mean, he was a guy who developed a lot at Iowa, but it just goes to show you, Don, in this day and age,
you never know.
You never know. I mean, would you ever think that a guy would leave Nebraska as the starter to be the backup? I mean, because what's his name's coming back.
Yeah.
So now Dylan Raiola is going to be the backup at Oregon instead of being the starter at Nebraska. Make that make sense.
Yeah. Doesn't make much sense. Of course, the guy that started for Oregon this year was okay to be the backup to Dylan Gabriel. And that all worked out okay for him.
Now, he did transfer from UCLA, though. Remember, he spent his freshman year at UCLA. Dante Moore did.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. But Dante was he was okay with transferring even though Dylan Gabriel was already there.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
But he was younger. Well, of course, the guy from Nebraska is relatively young still, too. He only, I think he's used up 2 years.
2 years, so he can redshirt next year and have 2 years available.
Redshirt available, of course, yeah.
It just seems weird, though, that you'd go from, I mean, just shows you how far Nebraska, I guess, has fallen in some ways.
Well, who's to say he's going to stay at Oregon?
Well, no, he could go to Oregon and just collect a check. And
then move on next year?
It's just, it's crazy. Okay, so, Don, if you could do one thing to help college football right now, big-time college football, what would it be? Or is it impossible to say only one thing? But if there is one thing, what would you do right now that you think needs to be done to help the course of college football?
I think the simplest thing that comes to mind for me, you have to somehow, some way, establish a salary cap for competition.
Okay.
And it's got to be a number that people can get to, so that every team in FBS football has the same amount of money to work with to recruit their team.
Okay.
That's the thing that bugs me about Major League Baseball.
I was just getting ready to say
it's not fair.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then that's why every year it's the Dodgers or the Yankees. It's the same, usually the same big market teams winning. No, that's my biggest turnoff with baseball. Now, what you're saying, do you think that can happen under this current setup, or do they have to establish some type of governing body before that's going to happen? Because the NCAA, to me, just seems toothless in this. They just don't seem to have any.
Well, you're right. I mean, you've heard me say before, if somebody in the NCAA 15 years ago had any vision, they would have said, we're taking in all this money. We have to establish a process of sharing it with student athletes.
Exactly, yep.
And back then I really felt maybe $10,000 plus the scholarship would have made everybody happy and been a good solution for a difficult problem to solve. And maybe with escalating payouts, maybe it goes from $10,000 10 years ago. Now a scholarship is tuition fees, room and board, books, and $25,000, whatever. But it's ridiculous that one player in the huddle would be making $2 million or $3 million. The other guy would only have a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But that's where we're at.
But that's where we're at, and it's just and we're so deep into it now. I don't know if there's any turning back. I mean, the money's out there, and it's just okay. So shifting back to Iowa, going into spring ball, obviously the defensive line and secondary were two major issues, and they dealt with them in the portal. I've got some fans that have. What would you say to the fans right now who are a little concerned because most of the players they got from the portal are moving up a level? Most of them, I think 9 of them are FCS, and that doesn't include James Madison because it's no longer FCS. What would you say to those fans that are a little concerned about, man, we didn't get any Power 4 guys? What would your answer be to them?
I would simply say you need to have a lot of confidence in the ability of our coaches to evaluate talent.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought you'd say, and I agree with you. I think Kirk's earned that benefit, don't you?
I'm sorry?
I think Kirk has earned the benefit of the doubt in these situations, don't you?
Absolutely. Not just Kirk, but guys like Phil Parker and Tim Lester and George Barnett also. All kinds of position coaches have proven they know what they're doing. So trust in their judgment as to who we recruit from an upper-class transfer standpoint. And for that matter, trust their judgment on who we recruit out of high school, too. Now, obviously, it's hard to hit on high school players with a high percentage of accuracy. But our culture is such, if you're recruiting a young man, and there's all kinds of examples through the years, I'm talking about especially within the borders of Iowa, trust our coaches. They know a lot about these guys, and maybe they're not a big name at the time when they come out of high school, but the coaches know what they're doing, and they're thinking long term. The success of this program the last 45 years has primarily been tied to developing high school talent and turning them into outstanding college players.
Yep. And there's still a place for that, hopefully.
And it appears there's a method to their madness with their portal acquisitions. 7 of the guys have 3 years of eligibility remaining, and 6 of them have 2 years of eligibility remaining. So clearly the developmental aspect is still in place.
I pointed that out to somebody I was talking to the other day, and he's like, okay, I'll be the ultimate smartass now. Okay, let's say one of those guys just has a phenomenal year next year. What's to stop him from going to Alabama?
Nothing.
That's the concern, right, Don? Obviously, because the shopping never ends.
That's a legitimate concern, but my answer would be culture counts for a lot.
Yeah, it does.
And a young man, we've had all kinds of guys that have had chances to leave here for more money and have said, no thanks, I'm good where I am. And they're thinking the right way. It's tragic if a young man decides, I need to leave because they're going to give me $20,000 more than what I was giving me. Well, don't make those huge decisions based on $10,000 or $20,000, because in the big picture, if you legitimately think you're going to play on Sunday, $10,000 or $20,000 now is nothing but a drop in the bucket compared to what's going to happen in the years ahead.
Well, that's for sure, but what if that number is $100,000 or $250,000 more? It kind of changes the equation a little, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. At some point, it does. My hat's off to the parents that are able to say, son, do not transfer just to make it a little easier for us to pay our bills. We're going to be fine. You know, we've survived all this time on limited income. And we certainly don't need a big help out of you just to be able to pay our bills. What matters to us is that you be at the place that's best for you without regard to money. Hopefully some parents are able to say that. I'm sure some of them will say that. And the bottom line, of course, if the coach is good, they don't want to leave because they don't want to play for anybody else other than their position coach and Kirk Ferentz. That's who they want to play for. And that counts a lot. But you got to have a great culture to be able to assign that kind of leverage to that kind of relationship.
Yeah, Don, I wanted to ask you before we wrap up. I can't believe it's already almost 10:30. I've noticed now high school athletes are starting to have agents. What are your thoughts on that?
It's stupid.
Okay.
Honest to God, some of their agents are Uncle Bill and
yeah.
cousin Leroy and stuff like that. Those guys know about as much about being an agent as I do. It's not anything. I don't know anything about being an agent because I'm not trained to even be qualified to do that. The best agents I'm familiar with are guys that know a lot about law. A lot of them are former lawyers, for that matter. And they obviously know a lot about negotiation and the art of negotiation, and the average guy that is labeled as an agent, he doesn't know much of anything. He's probably got some kind of family tie, maybe a relative within the family, or maybe simply a person from his hometown, somebody that he believes in. But frankly, some of that trust is misplaced.
Sure.
Because they don't know that much about what they're doing either.
Speaking of family, I always thought my brother would have been a good agent. I told him that one time. And obviously you know
no
Frank.
Doubt about it.
I think Frank would have been a great sports agent. He could have represented all those Hawkeyes and been even richer than he is now. You think Frank would have been a good agent?
No doubt about it. And I think you're aware, Pat, Frank represented me one time,
I know.
too.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. No, I know that, and that kind of helped get you and me reacquainted again. But yeah, no. To me, agents, I mean, they serve a purpose. I get it, but I'm concerned because they're controlling so much of the money and the media message right now. Agents are the ones breaking most of the stories because they're contacting the big media people nationally, and the agents are kind of running everything right now, Don, and that's not good, is it?
No, it's not. Not at all. But there's nothing we can do about it.
No.
So we need to, since we can't control who's going to be an agent, we just simply need to control how can we make a level playing field. Even the NFL has a salary cap. And truthfully, I give the NFL credit. Everybody in theory has the same amount of money. Now, of course, they're very creative about how they spend their money.
Sure, yeah.
But at least, in theory, they all have an equal chance in terms of finances to be able to put together a great team. And to go one step further, the NFL, correct if I'm wrong, they don't even establish next season's schedule until one season is done.
I believe that's right.
Because if you've had a bad season, they're going to give you a slightly softer schedule. I say slightly, maybe more than slightly soft, depending on how bad you were, because they don't want any of the franchises to go under.
Sure.
They'd like for those games in week 15 and 16 to carry a lot of weight. They'd be excited if there were all kinds of teams still available to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
No, you're right. It's my biggest knock about baseball is there's just no. It's just the same teams. I mean, Dodgers have won the last two, and they just signed Kyle Tucker for $240 million.
There's just so many games. 162 regular season. 25, 30 preseason. There's too many games.
Well, Don, we're going to wrap up here, but I appreciate another year. I know our fans have loved this again. It's been a fun year. I know there were 4 tough losses, but it's been a fun year doing this again with you. And let's, as spring ball draws near, we'll get you back on and we'll talk about spring ball once we get a little more news and stuff developing and whatever. But we'll do like a spring special and whatever, and I'll stay in touch. But again, on behalf of all of us here and all of our listeners, thanks again for sharing your insight with us this season. It's been great.
Well, I wish I had the time to talk about analytics relating to the championship game because Just to give you a real quick example, there were 4 parameters when you looked at both teams and combined all those games. We were up to 26 games. There were 4 parameters that even then were still 85% win or higher.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the 4 parameters that needed to be won. And guess what? Indiana won all 4
Did
of
they
them.
really? Wow. Yeah, more Cignetti.
Yeah.
It's just
It's incredible.
the magic of Kurt Cignetti. I never thought we'd see anything like this.
Nope.
Never thought I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago, I would have been like, you're nuts. But it's incredible. It is incredible. But, Donnie, great stuff as usual. Stay warm. It's going to be miserable this weekend, it sounds like. And
So no golf this week,
No golf
Donnie.
this weekend, Don, unless you're going, well, you may not even be able to golf in Texas. Sounds like it's going to be cold down there, too.
Yeah, you're right. Let me give in closing, let me give a tip of the hat to one of the coaches in Indiana.
Okay.
And it's the games that always interest me are the games in which I know key players at the other school or at the other team in the NFL, whatever the case might be. The quarterback coach for the Heisman Trophy winner was my quarterback from UConn in 2014. His name's Chandler Whitmer. Chandler was the coach. This year, I don't want to give him all the credit for Mendoza, because you've already heard me say Mendoza was a really good quarterback before he arrived.
But he deserves some credit.
But Chandler didn't do him any harm, that's for sure.
Good for him.
Chandler, the last 4 years, has been bouncing around in the NFL. And, of course, we have guys that are unproven. That means they're the same guys that are responsible for bringing in donuts or going to get pizza. But Chandler learned a lot in those 4 stops, in those 4 years in the NFL. And, of course, he knew quite a bit about football, even when he was at UConn. I can say that with confidence because I was the guy that had the privilege of coaching him.
Well, that's very well said, and just another example of Cignetti making another good decision. But, no, that's a cool story, Don. Appreciate it again, and I will be in touch again. We'll do something in the spring, which is not that far off, if you can believe that. But, again, thanks for all your insight.
Always a pleasure, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
Wow, that hour and a half just blew by, Captain.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for all your contributions.
I am exhausted.
You're exhausted?
Yeah.
Saw you out there hanging out with Hunter. You were
Yeah,
hanging out.
I was being difficult.
You were just, I knew you were bugging him.
Hanging out with Hunter's exhausting. I know. You say that all the time.
And once we get off the air, you're going to go back out there and you're going to continue to be difficult to work with, right?
It's going to be very difficult.
Where's Lang?
He's
here.
getting ready.
Oh, is he in there? I never saw him
Yeah.
walk in.
No, he's here.
He's working hard. His nose is to the grindstone.
He's stealth. It's stealth Lang.
Lang is working his butt off.
Have we covered everything that we needed to cover?
I think so.
I think so. If I can inject one thing of politics.
Well, wait, I wanted to say, you share Don's concern about quarterback, don't you?
Oh, sure.
I think I do, too.
Until I see
and I don't
it.
think that's being critical.
It isn't.
Because Don loves Kirk, he loves Iowa football, but I think it's a legitimate concern.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, what do we got? We're going to end with some Trump stuff, right?
Well, it's kind of...
Is it funny?
Yeah. Well, he's speaking in Switzerland, of course.
Well, yeah, I was listening to it this morning a little bit.
And he said, without the U.S., right now you'd all be speaking German. That's their language.
What do you think of that, Sue?
He's an idiot. And with that, okay, we want to thank Holly Duax.
Yes, thank you, Holly.
Sprinter extraordinaire for the University of Iowa. Hope
Good luck this weekend.
Yes, indeed, and to the whole team. And, of course, as Pat said, Coach Donnie Patterson for a great year of his insights, and we look forward to having him on for a spring discussion.
We'll do some spring discussion
Yeah.
and kind of go from there. And before I've heard somebody put a graphic up on Twitter, and it was fake, but it looked real. It had snow. It had Iowa in an area that was going to get 28 to 40.
No.
And then it had Texas in an area that was going to get like 61 to 90 inches of snow. And then at the end, so where are we? What's coming this week?
We're going to get some snow.
But is it?
No, it's not going to be.
I heard it's going to be like 60 below. It's going to be like Pluto.
No, it is not going to be 60 below. It's going to get that. It's going to be the coldest we're going to get is Friday, where the high will be -3.
Well, that's pretty cold, but we've had worse.
Plenty cold.
Then what about Saturday?
And it'll be windy, so the wind chills 3 above.
And then what about Sunday?
Teens.
Okay, so
better.
And then by next Monday, are we back at least teens, 20s?
Not Monday. Yeah, teens Monday and upper 20s.
Oh, okay. I can live with that.
So it'll be
a rough 24, 48 hours.
A very cold weekend.
But no like 20 inches
We'll
of snow?
get some, but we're going to get maybe an inch. We're going to get some snow this afternoon.
But it seems like when it gets that cold, we don't get as much snow.
No, we're not going
to.
Okay,
cool.
But we are going to.
What about these fake
it'll
forecasts?
Be slippery.
What about these fake forecasts on Twitter? And he had it. It was pretty funny. And there was a graphic at the bottom showing people with their hands in snow trying to reach up to save them. And people were thinking it was real.
Well, people are idiots.
Stupid. I know. You're right about that. And social media has just exposed it.
Okay, so police reports coming up next with Captain Steve and Tommy Lang. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather. Brought